All right, today we're talking Hackers, the movie that convinced an entire generation that cybercrime was just aggressively mashing your keyboard while rollerblading through a nightclub. This is a world where typing really fast makes you a god, hacking looks like a Windows 95 screensaver, and the scariest villain is a guy named The Plague, who, by the way, commits cyber terrorism while skateboarding through his office. It's neon, it's nonsense, and it's somehow one of the most entertaining tech movies ever made. So let's break down this absolute fever dream and figure out why Hollywood thought that computers work like this in this episode of the Cine Boys.
What's good? Welcome back.
Welcome to the Cine Boys.
Welcome to our show.
Welcome to Cine Boys, episode whatever.
Yeah, it's episode 5. Episode 5.
We hope you've been enjoying a bunch of the content that we're putting up. We recently put out 2 episodes. Last Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It was for what movies were they for? I think one of them was
that we had for
Parasite. And we also did trying to remember the other movie.
It's hard to remember, right? Like,
well, now that we've seen like so much movies, it's hard to go through all that.
I'll tell you right now which movies we've seen. It will be
Parasite and I think Super 8.
Yeah, Parasite, Super 8. Those are the ones that you had me watch because I hadn't seen them before. Mm-hmm. And then I made you watch Dogma
and Good Will Hunting. Yeah, so the 2 episodes that are out right now are the Dogma episode and the Parasite episode.
Yeah, but by the time you watch this, Good Will Hunting and
Super
8 will be out. Mm-hmm. You know, so thanks again for joining us.
Yeah,
we're excited you're here.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, comment, let us know other movies that you guys are kind of feeling, other movies that me and Art should watch, or if you want to be a guest on the show, let us know what movie you haven't seen, and hopefully we've never seen it or we have, but we'd love to have that discussion with you guys.
Absolutely. Oh, God, I cursed too early into the show. I have to bleep this out.
Yeah,
for
YouTube. We try to make the monies.
Yeah. So today, what are we watching? What do we watch?
So today we're doing we're gonna run Hackers today.
Fight the planet!
Yeah, exactly.
So Hackers, for those who don't know, is a movie.
Hackers penetrate and ravage private and publicly owned computer systems.
That came out in 1995. And once you watch the movie, you will for sure tell that it did come out in the mid-90s.
Yeah, you can tell our fit today is matching that.
Bright colors, overalls, workers' jackets, roller skates. That's kind of the style that a lot of that movie had.
Very cyberpunkish, you know, like.
Yeah. Did you want to run the trailer first?
Yeah. Well, you want to tell them what it's about first?
Oh, yeah. My apologies, folks. So Hackers is, and this is what the diagnosis says, Hackers is a stylish cyber thriller following a group of teen hackers who accidentally uncover a corporate conspiracy involving malice, computer viruses, and just terrible stuff. Like, I guess once you finish the movie, like, you kind of realize, that corporation was fucked up.
Yeah, they're the Luigi Mangione of their time, you know.
Yeah, and so our main character, his name's Dade, but he used to go by Zero Cool.
Zero Cool crashed 1,507 systems in one day. Biggest crash in history.
There's some backstory between.
Hold on, you mean Zero Cool, the kid that crashed 1,507 servers?
Yeah. Apparently, he's like a prodigy hacker.
I thought you was black, man.
Who and by the way, this man hacked 1,000 something. Like
1,507.
1,507.
You know, don't get it twisted.
1,507, I think, accounts at the age of what? He was 11.
He was 11. Yeah. But he was elite.
Look, you want to be elite? You got to do a righteous hack.
You know,
Yeah, he
like,
was-
you know, like we're not elite. You
Yeah,
know, but-
definitely not. That kid was the shit. To get in trouble at like 11
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
nuts.
I mean, at 11, I had like my first sip of alcohol. You know,
Uh-huh.
but that's about it. You know,
Dude, 11, I had like what? I was still playing PlayStation downstairs, PlayStation
Hell
2
yeah.
downstairs, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, that's a fire game. You know, and maybe we'll do the Spider-Man movies. You
Man,
know?
I hope so.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so pretty much after a while, he ends up moving to New York, and then there he runs into like a subculture of hackers, which when I first watched it, I was like, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine rolling up to a city just filled with like computer nerds and like hackers, and
Yeah.
they're not even looked at as dweebs. They're just looked at
Yeah.
as like
They spend all their time on the computers. That's everybody Gen Z and below now.
Yeah.
You know, like so
Kind
it's
of.
ahead of its time.
yeah, for sure. Like cybersecurity was nowhere near as prevalent as it is now.
Yeah.
And
no,
it was then, and
absolutely.
I think that was like the stepping stone for that.
Yeah, I feel like it was probably easier to hack back in those days than it is today. But yeah, you got anything before we watch the trailer?
As of right now, no. That's kind of the synopsis.
Synopsis?
without having to spoiler anything,
Yeah.
because we will get into that. But first, we're gonna run through the trailer and kind of see if the trailer matches up with the movie.
Absolutely. We're gonna hack the planet.
Hack the planet!
The planet.
All right, let's watch this trailer with us.
The following preview has been approved for all audiences by the Motion Picture Association.
Hidden beneath the world we know.
I like that transition.
See, when I saw that in the movie, I was like, "Oh, that's tight.
That is
was
fire.
fire."
What are you doing?
I'm taking over a TV network.
Finish up, honey. Get to sleep.
They're hackers.
Hackers penetrate and ravage private and publicly owned computer systems.
hack the planet.
It's not just something they do.
Sure, this sweet machine's not.
God, Angelina's
I
so
know,
fine
bro.
in this.
It's who they are.
I win. You wear a dress on our date.
And if I win, so do you.
They can crack any code.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's a pretty cool scene. We're gonna get into that one.
Inside any system.
Oh, I also have like
I'm what?
I love this part too.
But this time,
Come here, look at this.
They were fucking with the chief.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
chief police, something like that, like the FBI.
The FBI guy, yeah.
hackers. They just hacked the wrong guy.
He's a cool ass villain. I'll be honest
The
with you.
plague.
Yeah, the plague.
Commit the perfect computer crime.
You've created a virus that's going to cause a worldwide disaster?
And they're about to take the blame.
Hacker planted the virus. But it's the perfect cover. We're being framed. Can we be allies?
I don't play well with others.
Wow, we are fried.
We talked a little bit about this, but all the fashion in this movie,
You're not good enough to beat me.
Yeah, maybe I'm not.
I
Yeah,
consider redoing my whole wardrobe because of this.
because of this movie. Yeah, there was a bunch of like stuff that I feel like nowadays are still being used.
Yeah, you can literally put this on everybody in the streets, you know, like the streetwear.
Was it? Yeah, like what were the Blade and somebody
Razor
else?
and Blade.
Razor and Blade.
Yeah,
Yeah, their fits were fire.
a little VR action, you know, like. I think seeing Angelina Jolie in this movie made me hit puberty. You know, like,
Hackers.
boom, boom. What do you think about that trailer?
So I think the trailer. This is one of the first cases where I think the trailer pretty much summed up what the tone of the movie was.
Yeah,
this is one of the
yeah.
first few cases where I've seen the trailer. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what that movie was about. It was just a group of hackers trying to
Yeah.
stop the conspiracy of a company trying to take over oil rigs and spill them into the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. And something that you get the energy. There, like a lot of like one of the things that I noticed in this movie is like the music. You know, like I actually downloaded it and I'm playing some of it in my car right now. Very like EDM, electronic. You know, like upbeat. Like
I think that was hardstyle before hardstyle had developed that like heavy like bass that do.
Yeah.
Like I have a huge appreciation for that music because a lot of those sound bites too I hear in video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like old. Like I remember
yeah.
there was an old video game. It's funny because they roller skate a lot.
Oh,
Jet
yeah.
Set Radio. That's an old
Jet
video game.
Set Radio, yeah, Dreamcast.
Yeah, I used to play that game all the time, and those outfits in Jet Set Radio are exactly like these, like the whole like I guess now we call it tech wear,
Yeah.
where it's like just a bunch of clothing that have uses and mobility, and it come with like cargo pouches and
Yeah, you
belt
gotta have
buckles.
the pockets, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to Jet Set right now.
I'm ready to Jet Set right now. But yeah, that trailer does. I feel like 100% tells you what you're about to go get into.
Yeah.
And doesn't lie about, you know, like it being a drama, it being this. I mean, it's a technically, and they use the word in the movie, it's an espionage movie.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
think about
I hadn't thought about
it, it's
that.
like technical espionage.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. So let's what do you want to start? Do you have notes you want to like walk through kind of like how the movie opens? And
Yeah. So we'll
generally.
first like set up the opening. So Dade Murphy is the main character. When you meet him, he's a child. He's a prodigy hacker, and he goes by the name Zero Cool. Crashes 1,500 or 100 and 1,507 systems as a child, leading to him being banned from using computers up until he turns 18.
Yeah, that's when I mentioned something about that raid. There's like 100 fucking FBI agents. Like, you
They
know.
sent that to him like as if
Yeah.
like today, like say
Yeah.
people that what is it called when they fake call a streamer?
Swatted.
Swatting,
Yeah.
is exactly like that.
Yeah, one note I wrote about that, it was like the judge, right? Like, it's like, you know, he gives him a $45,000 fine that his parents have to pay.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And no computer or phone access until he's 18. What would have happened to an 11-year-old if you tell him no phone or internet access till you're 18?
Today,
Yeah.
it'd be like telling somebody that did crack cocaine for years and you have to tell them to stop.
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker gonna go crazy.
Yeah, you might have to hit him.
Yeah.
You know, like
That
Keep-
stern
keep him in
child
line.
discipline.
Yeah.
In my notes for that, I wrote, "Damn, the military." I was like,
Yeah,
question mark.
yeah,
I was like, "Damn."
yeah. And then when he's sitting in at court, like I noticed he has the biggest fucking jacket on that you ever see. And it's like his dad's jacket, you know,
Yeah.
like he's like a little 11-year-old kid in it, you know?
Yeah, and it was like, when they said the $45,000 fine
Yeah.
and then just all that, I was like,
That's in 1995.
yeah,
right?
that's probably like 450,000.
Yeah. Let's see how many. What movie? What year was this movie released?
95.
How much was 45K in 1995? That would be about $93,000.
Fuck.
$100,000.
God
Yeah.
damn! But you also got to think about it because like they say that he crashed the trade system.
Yeah.
He
He
tried-
dropped it down or the NASDAQ. or whatever.
0.7% or something
Yeah.
like that, and that really fucked everything up. So I mean, can you blame them?
That's fair.
Trading back then was a lot more serious
Yeah.
up until like 9/11 when they took
Yeah,
down
yeah.
the World Trade Center.
There's no crypto. R.I.P. You know, never forget. You know,
Never
like-
forget meme coin. But yeah, after that, they there's a time skip in the movie. 7 years later, Dade ends up moving to New York with his mom, and from there, that's where you kind of pick up what he's been doing. I mean, he's been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like that stopped him. This dude,
Yeah.
kept doing that computer hacking.
Yeah,
But
it seems like he wired like his phone outside the window to like steal signal.
Yeah, you can see
know?
like the copper like
Yeah,
running
yeah,
to the
yeah.
computer. I thought-
Dial up.
Yeah,
you know,
I was like, damn, it's
Yeah.
like that. Could you imagine? I kind of want to know what that was like learning that process because there wasn't no YouTube. There
Yeah.
wasn't no YouTube back then, so you kind of had to figure all that out.
you have to read. Like the
Yeah.
funny thing is, like I grew up in that time,
Uh-huh.
you know, like, and it's like the funny thing about that is that it's like if you know a little bit of electronics, it's like you basically have to cut into the telephone line, which is probably easier, and then like it's just two wires and then wire it up, but it's still wild, you know. That means you have to like climb up there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and then after that, I mean, you kind of start developing like, oh, where is he at in his world, stuff like that. And you start realizing there's a community of hackers there, which they don't tell you that there was like any kind of subgenre, subculture for that. You just kind of walk in and
you just walk in because he goes to school.
Yeah, he goes to school, and then what's his name? One of his friends, who I thought was pretty fire, Freak.
I'm the Freak, the Phantom Freak, the King of 9X.
Oh yeah, the Phantom Freak.
Yeah, it was spelled with an PH.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he starts snooping up on him.
Ramon Sanchez.
Yeah, Puerto Rican kid from New York.
You know, like there's a lot of diversity in this movie, you know, for being in the 90s.
Well, if you think about it, because 90s in New York, it was like,
oh yeah, it is.
There was Puerto Ricans. There was.
It should have been all Puerto Ricans, if anything.
I mean, shit. But yeah, they I think he runs into Kate, which is Angelina Jolie's character.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to find the principal's office, and already she gave him like a bad introduction because she didn't want to help him or whatnot. Up until then,
she's kind of like a bitch to him at the beginning. It's like, "Are you coming?"
But that's the thing about bitches that look like that.
I mean, she was hot,
beautiful.
you know,
They
like,
just don't care. You know. You know, I mean, I've had my fair share of bitches I've walked up to, and they just not care, give me the time of day or anything.
Yeah,
like
I know.
That.
I went to a comic a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, it's kind of weird, but you want to go out sometime?" She's like, "Anyways," and just walked off. I feel like I was a hackers, you know, like.
No, dude.
Yeah,
she hit you with a swerve.
Yeah, pretty much like not even addressing it. Like, tell me, no, thank you. You know, don't just like. That's just rude, but you know, pretty girls be pretty girls.
Yeah, pretty
you know?
for real.
I mean,
All the girls be girling.
She was pretty for a comic. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh,
you know,
man.
like the bar's kind of low.
Oh man, I wish you were on TikTok, like my side of TikTok. The girls be girling. Fucking meme is so hilarious.
Oh well, we'll see. Maybe by the time that this episode's out, we'll have TikTok back.
Yeah, facts. Save TikTok. But yeah. After that, you know, Freak kind of is looking over his shoulder, and he starts noticing that he is looking into Kate, and he's like, "How are you doing that?" Like, kind of being like nonchalant. But we later on we find out, oh yeah, he was just trying to scope him out.
Yeah,
and then he brings him into like a club or like a bar setting where hackers like kind of chill out.
The nightclub, which is wild, right? Like it's insane. It's like it's cool. It's like a nightclub where people skate and have skate ramps.
Mm-hmm. It's like in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie where all the kids, all the what are they called? The Foot Clan, they be chilling and stuff like that. It's just like that. I wonder if it was really like that over there in New York, because I've seen it so many times. I've seen it referenced. I wonder if it was really like that.
Maybe that'd be nice. I could see that club existing today.
I could
maybe
too.
not the skate spot, but
something like that though, like a lounge kind of deal.
Yeah.
But like it was really cool. Because then you meet, you know, Matthew Lillard's character, serial
killer, like I said, you know, mini wheats or whatever. Yeah.
You meet him. You meet later on. You meet another person named Nico.
Yeah, Paul Cook, also known as Lord Nikon, like Nikon, like the camera. You know, like.
Yeah, he was. I genuinely enjoyed the vibe, like any kind of setting like that. Because when they go and see Nikon at his crib and they start watching Razor and Blade on TV, I was like, that's just like how my boys would be. Like, we just all be like that. But and then something cool, and this is what's on my paper too about it, is the rivalry between hackers. What they have to do, like their challenges, are pretty sick.
Oh, because before, right, like, because at this moment. Dade Murphy, right? Like played by Johnny, I forget the actor's name, but he knows like that. He meets the Freak,
the Phantom Freak.
He also meets Joey Pardella, who's kind of like a newbie, doesn't even have a handle yet. You know, like
because he's asking Freak. He's like, "Yo, give me a handle."
Yeah. I'm nothing without a handle. You know, like like he has to be like knighted into you know the hacker community,
which is fair because I've been in my fair share of groups where I've had to like you know do my own
earn
thing.
your spot.
Yeah, like for me in high school, what they used to call me was Specs.
Okay.
They called me Specs in high school because what I would do is if anybody needed any information, if anybody needed something, if somebody needed to know what time you had to be somewhere, they'd reach out to me. I'd be like, all right, let me see what I can find, and I'll relay it back. Like that was my job. I was Specs.
Oh yeah. So you were like the. Have you ever seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
You're like the guy in the chair. You
exactly.
know?
I'm Oracle to Batman.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
me. Yeah, never fucking forget it, Fuquay. That was me.
Yeah, we got the Oracle here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Dade so far only knows Kate is hot. He doesn't even know she's a hacker.
Yeah, up until they go to a party.
Yeah, but even before the party, right? Like he's like Dade's like he's gonna hack into that TV station, you know, and they have like, and then he's like, oh my god, a hacker, you know, and then it says like what I really liked about that is I noticed that she writes like the lingo on there says as it burns says. But S-E-Z, you know, like they're usually like misspelling the words, which is very
of that time.
today.
Yeah.
It's very of the time today. You know, like you just like people say, leave before you're expunged. And then they're like in a very gooey type setting. There's like the videotape, you know, like they're like fighting, which is hacking is not like that. It's like a boring command line, but they make it look very cool.
Yeah, they make it look like it's like a social media. Kind of like it's like, oh, if you run into one, then it's like, oh, who's gonna get the first hack or who's gonna be able to hack that first. So that's when they go back and forth between that, and then he ends up losing.
Yeah. He loses right after he says, "Mess with the best, die like the rest," and then he gets connection terminated.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah. We don't later find out that was her, but I think the clues that were starting to pop off was, I think during the party when she pulls out when they check the computer.
Yeah.
And then she comes in with the dude and they're about to fuck.
Which is a little like they're like watching him. He's like difficulty rating. He's like took off the bra with one hand. And they're all just like literally sitting in the corner.
I mean, they're hornballs, bruh.
They are hornballs. Then like she's like they were about to fucking get it on.
Yeah.
And if anything, Dade's like, you know, whatever. And then she's like gets on the computer and she's a super nerd. And he's like, you're not gonna get into that computer shit, right?
Like they completely blue balled my boy.
They blue balled
They blue balled the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I feel like shit if somebody interrupted my shit for computer.
Yeah.
Computer shit.
Absolutely.
Oh, babe, you gonna be a dork again? Adio.
Yeah.
Skedaddle.
Imagine you're making out with some chick and she like goes off and it's just like into her computer. I'd be like, bro.
Yeah, imagine you about to get in them guts and all of a sudden you see some dorks at a computer.
You know that guy fucked another girl that night. You know, like,
he had to. Dude, but that was very interesting though because you see her sense of character. She's not that girl that is constantly fucking, which I mean, in a way, I mean, beauties like that, that's kind of, it's kind of standard. But like the way she kind of switches off from that and goes right back into hacking, like you know where she really is supposed to be.
Yeah, what she's really like, she's so into it. That she's like completely blows off the guy, and I like his how he finds out, right? Like. Freak's like, hey, Burn, check out this. And Dave's like, hold on, Burn? He's like acid burn? You put me out of OTB. You know, like, and what did she say to him? Do you remember?
She goes, I think if I remember, she quotes what he said at
She's
the
like,
end.
you're the one that's been trampling on my territory.
My ground. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, found her.
Yeah. Matthew Lillard, by the way, I love him in this movie.
I do too. Whenever, okay, so like I normally do with these movies, I do no research. I just jump right in. And so when I saw Matthew Lillard's character pop up, I go, and this was before. Oh no, this was after you see Angelina's character. So already I'm like, what the fuck is she doing in here?
Yeah.
Then you see Matthew Lillard. I was like, let's go. I was like, that's another movie you're in.
Underrated actor. You don't see him as much stuff, but he's been funny in everything that he was in.
He was in Scooby-Doo. All of the Scooby-Doos. He was, I mean, I don't know if you would consider this a spoiler. I mean, I feel like if you haven't seen this movie, you're kind of fucking slow.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. Scream 2?
Scream 2? He's in Scream 1. You know?
Oh, is it Scream 1?
Yeah. I think he's in Scream 2 too, also, maybe.
I could have sworn it was just Scream 2 because he ends up being the killer.
No, that's the original Scream.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm dumb.
Yeah, but I think they maybe do... Maybe they do flashbacks. I don't know in Scream 2.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I like this. Like, hold on. Crash and burn.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know if we talked about this, but Dale doesn't go by his serial cool handle.
Mm-hmm. He goes by what was it?
Crash Override.
Yeah.
You know, like, and my getup is inspired on his outfits. You know, like, yeah.
So then they finally figured out who's who, like who's on each side.
Yeah.
And then he's still running with the act that he's not what do you call himself? Zero cool.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't
tell
want to
anybody.
blow. He doesn't want to blow his cover.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you tell people that you were once this like crazy hacker, then they're not gonna look at you the same.
Yeah, they're gonna look at you differently.
Yeah. And I mean, not in a negative way, because I bet you you kind of figure it out later in the movie how they view him, how they view that character.
Yeah.
But that's getting a little ahead of myself, because we got to talk about the whole problem of the movie, which is the virus made from a character that you meet later on called the Plague. He's essentially their op, the main character's op.
You wanted to know who I am, Zero Cool?
This is like a hacker that works for like corporate,
Like a corporate
as the head of
company.
security.
Mhm.
You know, like, and I like the first scene when you see him. He's like skating it. He doesn't have inline skates. He has a skateboard. I don't know if you remember that part.
Yeah, he has a longboard.
Yeah.
And he just cruises around that in the building. Like when he comes in to fix the problem, that Joey ends up trying to make a name for himself early and starts going after that high corporate security.
Yeah.
And he ultimately fucks himself because he gets caught.
Yeah.
Look, you want to be elite? You got to do a righteous hack. None of this accidental shit.
He's like, because he's like waiting for something to download. With like that kind of connection, it takes forever. He's like just sitting, waiting in his room, and his mom comes in.
Yeah, and it's like lights out.
Shuts off the
Shuts
computer.
everything off.
It's like unplugging some like a transfer to a hard drive off your laptop without like ejecting the thing. And one thing before he gets caught, I like that he's wearing headphones in the shower.
Oh yeah. With the when I saw that, I was like, bro, this man's serious about his music.
Yeah, he can't disconnect. Well, I guess that's like having your phone in the shower, which is wild.
Well, so what do you mean by in the shower? Do you mean like in the shower or like on the counter?
I listen to stuff while I'm in the shower.
I do that.
Sure. But like, I guess they didn't have Bluetooth back
No,
then.
for sure they didn't.
Yeah,
Nor I don't think they really had speakers either.
Oh yeah.
But I'm trying to remember.
Not
'cause
speakers that could. Well, phones couldn't even play music back then.
It was just text calls.
Yeah, and your speakers, I think, were that.
Speakers were giant back then. Like they weren't like the small like a TV home set. They were gigantic thing. I don't think you'd be able to fit that in your shower.
No, plus it had the little red and black cable, so it's not like a plug-in where you can plug it into like your Walkman at the time or Discman or whatever.
I don't think people had that idea that they could just plug it in.
Yeah,
because I don't think Radio Shack would have had something like that, because that's something that would have definitely been open back then.
Yeah, you needed a stereo system, like and through those little RCA cables,
and you got to have like a main hub to put the CDs and stuff in. So damn, I'm surprised I even fucking remember that. But he ends up getting caught. And then that kind of puts everybody else on edge, because they're like, oh, well, if he got caught, that means, some heat's about to come in.
Yeah.
And then the more they kind of go on, the more they're kind of bonding with each other. They're doing more hacks. They're like, at some point, they start getting back at the chief of FBI, I guess, is who he is.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah, where they go back and forth. And I think Kate ends up... what is she? Oh, she sets up saying that he had like tickets set up. And he had a warrant for his arrest, and he gets arrested.
Yeah, for to Agent Richard Guild, because they're gonna have a competition on who's the better hacker. Crash Override or Acid Burn. And I write that I wrote it down. The hacks that they show us. They have one where they cancel his credit cards, and he's at a restaurant, and the waiter just comes by with these fucking almost like. Fun-sized, novelty-sized scissors, and just cut his credit card right in front of him. Imagine if you're on a date and the waiter goes by and cuts your credit card in half.
Yeah, that'd be some real shit. And then on top of that, like there was the arrest, and then it was Dade's turn.
Yeah.
And then he does some crazy shit. He actually pronounced him dead.
What?
At his company records, he's like, "Well, we hear this employee, he's deceased." But the one I really like is where they hack a personal ads.
This is a
pointed white male, cross-dresser, looking for discreet friend to bring dreams to reality.
Well,
Oh yeah, and there's hella people calling him.
Yeah.
He's like, "You freak!" And then hands up.
Yeah, right. He's like, I want to lick your earlobes. I want to lick your lips. And he's like, all the lines are on.
Yeah.
And what I love about that scene is that the plague like comes into the background as he's like answering. He's like, Hannibal.
Yeah, they fucked him up bad.
Yeah. I mean, because like originally Joey, right? Like he's like trying to make a name for himself. They said, no, you really got to hack one of those Gibsons, man. One of those servers that control oil tankers and all this other stuff.
Want a seriously righteous hack? You score one of those Gibsons, man.
And he's like trying to just grab like some file, and apparently this file has more than than he looked out for, or that anybody thought he would, because what's in the file.
So then in the file, you kind of figure out that there's a virus named the Da Vinci virus that Plague actually created. He created it so that at a certain date, once this virus sets up, he can have total control of the giant rig that has a shit ton of oil.
Yeah, the tankers.
Yeah, and what he pretty much wants to do is flip it over so that he could cause like a world like problem, like a giant big problem. And he wants to blame it on the hackers.
But that's a ruse, because why does he like? Do you remember?
What do you mean?
Because that's actually like a ruse to cover his tracks, because he has two programs. He has a virus and a worm, and the worm is stealing like little bits of money all the time and kind of like putting it in account.
Worm.
Yeah. Like, so his plan is to steal all this money and get away scot-free, but the virus is meant to cover its tracks of the worm. That's why he's so pissed.
Okay, I just thought that he just created the virus so that he could kind of like blame the hackers, because at first they got in and the company's been kind of on his ass about why haven't we pay you all this money to get this shit done. So I thought it was just the Da Vinci virus.
He was
I didn't know
stealing
there
money.
was a worm.
He was stealing money, and that's when they have to compile. They're like, oh, it's not a virus, it's a worm, but it's both. Right?
It isn't a virus. It's a worm.
Right? So it's like he needs somebody, he needs a patsy, because once, he can blame the hackers and he can blame them for everything.
Yeah. That way he covers his tracks. That's crazy. Okay. That adds a whole different layer, or a whole new layer of what I thought that character was.
Yeah.
So then after they discover that the virus is kind of out there, everybody's starting to like kind of plan how do they get back at it. Joey finally is off grounding, but he's not off the hook because FBI is still trailing him, and like you could see it because at the party you see the guy that pretty much was outside of Joey's house talking about how, oh man, that's cool, like how hackers are kind of cool. They have like their
I am a hacker, and this is my manifesto. Huh? Right? Manifesto? You may stop me, but you can't stop us all.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool?
Yeah, cool.
You think it's cool?
It's cool.
It's not cool.
their monologues and stuff like that, and then that's when they bust in and get Joey. Oh, they also got Dade because they wanted Dade on their team.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to recruit Dade, and then he goes, nah, I don't play fair with people. And so they were threatening him to kind of give up, like, hey, you should know something about this floppy disk of the virus. Help us out. We'll help you out. And he's like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah. He almost like offering like a sweet deal. Like he's like, we know you're good, work with us. I'll work with you. And I like that, like, whenever they're like Joey or anybody's hacking the Gibson, he has like, they have these like trippy visuals, This movie might be good on mushrooms now that I think about it. It's like, we talked about how it doesn't look like Happer. Like, it looks like a Mario Kart road inside of a computer whenever like going.
It goes through the circuit boards and like the different servers and how the servers are like visualized as like pillars.
Yeah. Growing up, that made me want to be a hacker, and then you realize, oh well, it's not really like that.
Yeah, it's ones and ones and O's.
And Joey hides the stuff in a floppy disk. Back when you had floppy disks, which are like my generation's like SSD drives.
Yeah. Floppy disks back then were like the norm. That was like your memory card. That was
They had like 3 megabytes of like storage, which is like not even a song.
and they
can
looked
fit in
cool.
there.
I thought they looked really cool.
You know what? They did look cool.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think that might have been my TV. That was weird.
Uh,
Maybe we're about to get raided.
Fight the planet!
yeah,
like-
maybe the FBI is onto us,
Yeah. Yeah.
or we might be in danger.
Yeah. But yeah, the plague tries to bribe Dade with that laptop, you know, a top of the line laptop, right? Like,
Which looked sick as fuck because it was
Yeah.
clear. It was one of the. It was
It's a
one of the
clear laptop.
only like fire computers that I've ever seen. It's still bricky. It looks like the.
I would buy a clear laptop today.
Yeah,
That
'cause
would be cool.
He goes, enjoy the laptop. I was like, you
Enjoy
bet
the
your
laptop.
damn ass I will.
Cool. And it's like, how funny is it to imagine like a hacker being bribed with like with that outdated laptop today? You know, like here's a brand new 1995 laptop. It's got like 8 megabytes in RAM.
Is
you
it
know,
Dell?
like-
I'll take
Yeah.
it. But you know what's cool about those laptops is
Yeah.
that I still see laptops like that used today. Like they're not as
not
bulky.
like, not an old laptop. You mean?
Well, no, because so in my corporate job,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
laptops that they use sometimes for service people,
Yeah.
they're just like that with the handle,
Oh,
and you can flip it
yeah,
open.
okay.
And like it still works. Like they
The
make new gens.
the briefcase laptop that they'd had was super cool.
No, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed those designs, like the rugged, like all around use. But after Joey ends up getting free, he ends up running. He calls over Freak.
Yeah.
He calls him. He's like, "Hey man, listen, we gotta get this to the other guys. Like this is big. This is only half of the garbage, stuff like that." And Freak starts noticing that there's people sitting on a bench, watching them, taking photos of them. And that was the first instance where you're like, "Oh shit's about to get crazy."
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you noticed this about. Did you know about this about one of the FBI agents? One of those FBI agents is Mark Anthony.
I knew he looked
It's
familiar.
Mark Anthony,
oh,
bro.
the guy with the glasses, the skinny lad.
like a little.
Oh wow!
Because there's a scene where they're in the car, right? He's like, "We are, the new Cine Boys. I am a hacker, and this is my manifesto."
Yeah.
And then
he goes,
Mark Anthony's like, what
"That's
is it?
cool, man."
He's like, cool. This isn't cool. This is commie bullshit. You know?
He's like, "No, man, it's cool."
Yeah.
I was like,
You think it's cool? It's cool. It's not cool.
Yeah.
you know who I thought I was gonna say if I hadn't looked it up.
Yeah.
If you didn't say Mark Anthony, I was gonna say John Leguizamo.
Oh yeah.
Because he looked like him a little bit, but they both look kind of similar.
Yeah, they do.
Like facial structure. I'm glad you told me that because I was like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Yeah,
he
yeah.
looks familiar.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought was cool is like about Kate Angelina Jolie is that her mom is like a renowned actor.
Mhm.
Oh no, writer.
Uh-huh.
Right. And then when she's like whenever they're in school, they're supposed to write quotes. And that's why I think this movie like very fits in the times today. Because the quote that she writes from her mom, it's like
God gave men brains larger than dogs so they wouldn't hump women's legs at cocktail parties.
just like it's very it's very feminist.
Yeah, I was just
very
about to say at a
feminist.
time where feminism wasn't so big.
Yeah.
And because her mom in that movie was a renowned writer for
Yeah.
women. Like,
Yeah, it's like that's like you could publish that line today, and you'd have every woman in your feed.
You go viral.
Repost it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You would go viral. You know what? Once TikTok comes back, that's what I'm making. Like.
duh, you can find that on some woman's like
Yeah.
Instagram bio or
But
something.
then again, I'm not elite, so maybe
Oh, yeah,
it won't.
facts. I am though. I'm elite.
Sure, man, he's elite.
Fuck yeah. Codename Specs.
That actually would be a pretty fire handle.
Specs?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I should just change my shit to Specs.
You should.
So after the meetup with Freak,
Yeah.
Freak has a nightmare kinda about getting arrested. He has like
Yeah.
the cops come in, stuff like that. He
Yeah.
climbs out the balcony, sees all the cops.
A lot of dream sequences in
Yeah.
this movie, like which she like.
There's a
Like
little-
everybody's having dreams. Angelina's having dreams. Dade Murphy's having dreams. Freak's having dreams.
Dade Murphy's dream is my favorite dream. I'm for real with you.
God.
It's my favorite dream.
I hit puberty once I saw that dream, like get a little side boob, Angelina side boob.
Boys turn to men.
Yeah, and she's kind of got like an emo look to her,
Yeah.
like and those little like plump lips, like she's 19 in this movie, right? Like
Yeah.
I was like 13 when this movie came out, or something like that. And I was like, God, she's hot.
Bro, dude, the stepping stones of the goth-esque girl.
Yeah.
Man.
You know what? That's probably channeled me into that subculture, like-
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch of references that I could think of that channeled me into that preference of women. I mean, shit, you got Starfire.
Yeah.
You
I
got
mean, they're so hot. They're
yeah.
damaged, but hot.
I mean, I repair. I don't know what you're talking about. I repair. I'm an I fix.
You're like, I can fix it, like in Wreck-It Ralph.
Was it? What is it? The I fix. The you break I fix.
Yeah, you break I
That's
fix.
me. So after the dream sequence with Freak, it actually comes to fruition. Freak gets arrested.
Yeah.
And he does some sly shit in the jail while he's like he gets his one phone call.
Yeah.
He starts tapping, resetting, and calls an operator, and he's like, "Yo, just so y'all know, the feds are onto us."
That's a super smart move because I remember back in the day because there's not really payphone syndrome, but you could do that because it's like you could dial 0 for operator, but also if you clicked it enough times, like I remember landlines, and even in the Razor and Blade show, they show how you can record, like the sound of the coins in payphones to get like free calls, and this is what like. Would come.
Oh yeah, that's what they were saying. That's what Razor and Blade were saying on the TV when they first met up.
Record the tones that the coins make, and hang up and get your money back.
And never again pay for a service that would be dirt cheap.
If it weren't run by a bunch of profiteering gluttons.
Remember, hacking is more than just a crime. It's a survival trait.
And that's where the name comes from Freak, because it comes from freaking PH, which are basically people who study like and hack communication systems like the phone lines, because it's kind of like analog, like and like beep, beep, beep.
The different like signal waves and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting because I never would have known to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now because we don't use payphones anymore.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
a lost art.
A lost art, like I think eventually they had it, but some way you think about it, like the machine, the central has to know in a way that you got enough. And kind of like if you think about when you put in a code, like each of those has a different sound. I'm sure you could reverse a pin code if you were able to hear the sounds and, tag them to each other or something like that,
I think because after that, everything starts kind of reaching the climax. Everybody's starting to prep up, be like, hey, we got to really figure out what this disc had, stuff like that. So they kind of, there's a bit of a buildup because Dade ends up giving a copy of that floppy disk back to the Plague because he threatened his mom of being arrested and like not having like
understandable. Understandable.
Like he's using his mom as a crutch, like he's twisting his arm.
Yeah, he's basically hacking and telling him that he's gonna make his mom a criminal, put her in jail, and then delete all the records so his mom disappears in the system.
Which is insane.
It's insane, and he knows that it can happen because they did the same thing to the Gil guy in a way. So it's kind of like hacker versus hackers,
Yeah. So after that, everybody starts building up a plan. Dade tells everybody like, "Hey, this is I gave him a copy of it, but I know how to deal with it.
Yeah,
I'm not really the person you think I am. I'm actually Zero. I think Zero Chill,
Zero Cool,
Zero Cool.
I was Zero Cool. Zero Cool.
Yeah,
and then everybody
hold on. Zero Cool that crashed 1507 systems when he was 11.
Yeah, everybody didn't even recognize that. They were like, "Oh, you were that guy. You're an elite." They called him an elite.
Yeah. I like Lord Nikon. Lord Nikon's like, I thought you was black, man.
Crashed 1,507 systems in one day. Biggest crash in history. Front page New York Times, August 10th, 1988. I thought you was black, man. Yo, man, this is Zero Cool.
Oh man, yeah, and then that's whenever they start recruiting hackers. They go and they encounter Razor and Blade and they ask them for help.
Yeah,
and then they were like, "You should have just put out a message out through the interwebs."
Yeah,
like Hackers Unite. Hack the world.
Hack the planet.
Hack the planet.
Because they're like, okay, we only have portion of the file. We need to show that this guy is guilty, so we need to hack back into the Gibson, to like get it all.
Get the full file.
So we can show and basically that we are not the ones,
And then there's the scene where they're all in the subway and they're all tapping into the phones and stuff like that.
One of my favorite scenes as well, because that's one of the things about the scene where I was like, with the hacks, right? Like they're so visual. It's super visual, and they have they're all gonna hack it at the same time, right? And they're gonna overload the Gibson, and they're throwing viruses at it, But these viruses are like so graphic. Like what's a Pac-Man? Like
it's like it's eating everything. And it's like
run the antivirus.
Yeah.
Then the other one's like cookie. It's like, oh, what is this? A cookie monster? It's like he's like, type the word cookie, you idiot. I like that the plague treats everybody like an asshole.
Oh yeah,
like
everybody's
an idiot.
there. Everybody's like set up. Everyone's trying to like make sure nothing happens.
There's a new virus in the database.
What's happening?
It's replicating, eating up memory. What do I do?
Type cookie, you idiot.
The plague's like, yeah, you fucking idiot, to everybody.
Yeah.
Another one I like that is like, it's like a rabbit, like the rabbit virus. And he's like, send a flu shot, like the solves for these hacks are just so funny to me.
Rabbit, flu shot, someone talk to me.
And there's the lady that the plague is banging, who is completely clueless.
Out of touch, doesn't even like, someone speak English to me kind of deal.
He has to be using her, right?
I mean,
because he's like banging her out, but she's like, with how he treats everybody, there's no way he's interested.
I mean, I would think
she must be a tiger in the sack or something.
I was gonna say either that or like she's probably like some high end like hierarchy in the business.
Well, yeah, he needs the access, which leads me to think: do you think like smart girls or dumb girls are better in the bedroom? It has to be dumb girls, right?
Well, I mean,
they don't call them dumb whores for nothing.
Broads.
That's just
crazy.
kidding. Hashtag feminism.
Women's rights. As I do Black Power.
Yeah. Yeah, like that hack off montage, right? Like
where they go back and forth and like
they were like mashing the keys, like. I like that Joey is always smoking. Like, he can't stop smoking, this kid.
On top of that, the FBI is trying to locate them. And then at first you think they didn't.
Yeah.
And then they did. They caught them. But in some quick, like, sleight of hand type of shit, Dade had the disk drive in the back of his hand.
Yeah.
And he flings it to a trash can.
I mean, that opening, it was like not that big.
Nah, it was like your traditional like trash can you'd see in a subway.
Yeah.
And then he's outside. He's like trash the system.
Yeah,
like
because Serial wasn't with him. He went to do something.
Keep it moving. Come on. What are you waiting on? Let's go.
They're trashing our rights, man. They're trashing the fluid data. They're trashing.
He went to go make sure the lines were good.
Yeah.
Which was a good idea because you got to make sure somebody's not in there.
Yeah.
Willing to get like caught, Yeah.
He's
Shouts out, dude. Serial came in clutch.
Serial killer. He's so funny. He's like spastic. Like Date's like, they're trashing our rights, man. They're trashing them. Trash it.
And he's trying to make it like a point, like let Serial know, check the trash. And he does. And then as they're all in the holding cells and like getting interrogated, there's that intimate moment between Kate and Dade.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get the because the head of FBI was getting interviewed, and then serial killer interrupted that, and
they hacked the stage.
Yeah,
bringing it back. They station back, and he kind of like spills the whole beans.
And then that's when they let the hackers go, and then they go after the real culprit, which he ends up leaving the broad there, and it was like,
she turns around and he's gone.
And then you see him in a jet in some fucking Asian-esque disguise. He's like, yes, thank you. And
they're like, Mr. Yamamoto, can I get you anything?
He's like, just a pillow. They put a pillow behind him. He puts his hand. All of a sudden, cuffed. You get cuffed, son.
Yeah. I mean, that makeup was pretty good. I'm like, this guy's a master of disguise.
He goes, hostess, I will never fly your airline again.
Yeah.
And then, there's the happy ending between Kate and Dwayne. And that's pretty much it.
But she also looks so fucking hot in that outfit.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, bro. Angelina Jolie back then was just, and I mean, even now, like, because I seen her in Internals. Boy, oh boy.
Angelina is just hot.
It's a
hot. Wanted, hackers, anything that, like, that you see her in. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, fantastic.
Like Eternals. And then there's that movie where they're immortal. Where she's like Andromeda or whatever, where like they can't die. It's like a Netflix movie. If you haven't seen it.
Ooh, no, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like where they're like kind of like technically gods.
Yeah, they're like ancient or whatever. Yeah. Hold on. It's Charlize Theron. Like growing up, Charlize Theron's another hottie that has like a little bit of a similar look to Angelina.
Okay.
Charlize Theron?
No.
Hancock?
Oh, the white girl?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, Charlize Theron and Angelina have been at the top of my list for like since I was like growing up.
Man, it's always been Angelina. I don't give a fuck about them 8 adopted kids.
It was always Angelina, and then Charlize Theron has always been a second fiddle. Now it's probably flipped.
I feel like now that we've talking about like the prettiest actresses, I feel like we're gonna have to like throw out our list for like top 5 like actresses we would definitely date or bang.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do after 10 episodes.
Okay.
We'll rank.
We'll do our top 10s.
We'll do it for all of the movies we've seen.
Okay.
And then we'll bring them in. And you chime in. Let us know. Like, is there a hottie that we missed? Because there's another hottie in the next movie that we're going to discuss in the next episode.
Yeah.
You'll have to watch that episode to find out what we're talking about.
And this doesn't make us bad because we will also be including men in that list because I do think there are some men that are hotties.
He speaks for one of us. But no, you can recognize a good-looking guy. This guy like pulls broads.
You're a good-looking guy.
Thank you. You're a good-looking guy, man.
I feel like we're hot enough to be able to judge other men.
Yeah, we're the Cine Boys.
The Cine Boys, and y'all can't fuck with us.
And speaking of that final scene, right, of Times Square.
Yeah.
When they're like, they're gonna circling back, like, and go to a dance in a swim in a pool.
Which calls back to the pool prank that they did.
Swimming pool up on the roof. Take the stairs over there.
Hey, hold the door!
No pool.
Which, can I ask, were you ever a victim of the pool prank? Because
no, I've never.
You've never had that?
No, but like in Peru, there was no pools. Growing up, and then. Yeah, no.
So you never. So did you do high school there as well? Peru. Okay. Did you?
No,
do
I did high school in Davie, but no,
So
it was a single level.
Oh, okay.
High school.
So when I went to high school, this even happened to me in middle school.
Yeah,
we had those rumors. So when she said that, I was like, my boy, don't fall for it, because I fell for it because our middle school had I fell for it in middle school, but I heard it a lot in high school. Our middle school had an elevator for disabled.
Okay.
For kids that were in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
And there was a third button because there's 2 floors, but there's a third button. Apparently, we found out that was mainly for maintenance.
Yeah.
But they dare us. They'd be like, "Yo, press the third button and go to the pool."
That makes sense. If I'd gone to like a multi-level school, I could see that.
Yeah, that happened to us all the time. So when she did that joke, I was like, "No, that's crazy."
Yeah. But then they're swimming in the pool, right? And then in the skyscrapers, the lights go out and it says
"crash and burn."
Yeah. And it's like, imagine being in New York or flash on on the billboards or the things, like, would you know that it's an art installation? Would you think that it's like a terrorist attack? Like crash and burn. It's pretty ominous.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
It's kind of like a very like Fight Club, Operation Madness or whatever.
Oh yeah, when the tower goes down.
Yeah. Or whenever they're like light that smiley face on fire. But this is not a Fight Club review.
No. Oh, but I did notice there was a lot of Taxi Driver references in that movie.
Yeah.
Where they go to the party for the first time and Dwayne goes, "Who you talking to?" Like at the mirror.
Oh yeah.
And then even the Plague later on said something like that before the big hack off.
Oh yeah.
So I noticed those. I was like,
Yeah, you want to fuck with me?
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
at
yeah,
me. Yeah.
There was those references that I caught in there, which I thought was cool. I was like, oh, okay.
I have a couple. Speaking of references, I have a couple quotes here that stood out. He's like, "Spandex, it's a privilege, not a right." Another one that I wrote says, "This is our world now. The world of the electron and the switch, the beauty of the bond." Like, what a fucking nerd.
Those is definitely like nerdy shit. But I mean, that kind of,
Yeah.
I feel like that expands on their character.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, it fit the movie.
For
Like,
sure.
don't take it out. Leave it in there.
Mhm.
Another one that probably is very most of the generation can. You would argue anybody that agrees with Louis Mangione would say this: there is no right and wrong. There's only fun and boring. And we already talked about God gave men brains larger than dogs, so they wouldn't have women's legs at cocktail parties. It's wild.
I mean, if I were to give this movie a rating, because I feel like,
Yeah.
genuinely, I enjoyed this movie. This movie
Yeah.
was kind of everything that I was hoping that it would be. I was hoping it wasn't going to be like too serious. It didn't take itself too serious. It
did not.
was all fun. It was all like, I feel like it was one of those movies that you can definitely watch with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely a family movie.
Yeah.
Solo
Solo's fine too.
Yeah, definitely. Especially that dream scene, the first Dwayne dream scene.
Yeah.
Come on, you son of a bitch. Is that all you got, huh? Come on, let's see what else you can do. You talking to me? Huh? Are you nuts? Come at me.
I think this movie, if I were to put it on the ratings, I'd give it a B. How do you feel about that?
I want to give it an A, but I feel like my nostalgia and me growing up with it probably has a lot to do with it, right? Like, I feel like if you had to come up with it in the time, you'd give it an A, but it's just fun. It's like, what, B plus, so let's put it in the B category.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if I put it in A and I put it in S,
Yeah,
that's
it's
outrageous.
It's not a Tarantino movie.
Exactly. It's not Interstellar.
It's not Interstellar. So yeah, B is good, and I think that we have another movie in the B one, or a couple. We'll have the rankings up as well.
Yeah, they'll be up on the screen somewhere. But just so that you guys can keep up with how we're ranking stuff. And again, the ranking system isn't about preference. It's more so about comparability and what it does for the culture.
Yeah.
Because that's why we always reference Interstellar, because Interstellar is a movie of the culture. It's a movie of...
Plus, it's an amazing film. It has everything. Visual, sound, like...
emotion,
Yeah.
heart-wrenching, like good moments. Like, it's peak. You can't argue with me and tell me Interstellar is not peak.
I kind of want to give it an A. But
You want to
B.
give Hacker an A?
I kind of want to give it an A. Now that you're saying it has it has the sound, it has visuals, it defined, like there was all these like,
But there's no twists. Interstellar has like 3-4 twists.
But Interstellar is S.
That's what I'm saying. You want to put it in A?
I
What's an A? What did we put in A?
I would put. We haven't put anything in A.
No.
I don't think we definitely we didn't put Super 8 at an A.
I think we called that a B minus.
We put Parasite at an A.
Okay. Do you think it compares to Parasite?
You have to take into account the time, right?
Okay.
Like, this is 20 years before Parasite. Think about this movie. This movie is 30 years old.
Okay. 30 years old, had a compelling story, had relatability.
Cool soundtrack. Think about
soundtrack.
Angelina being in this.
All right, we'll revise this, but I'll give it an A.
I'll
give it an A minus.
Hack the planet!
Hack the planet!
We're gonna hack this review.
We'll definitely revamp this later on, but
And maybe you disagree with us. I will hack your car and you'll crash on the way home.
Leave it in the comments. Let us know if we made a mistake.
Do you think it holds up?
I think it holds up today.
Yeah.
I think for sure. I think this is one of those movies that aged really well.
Yeah.
There isn't anything crazy that I think is mentioned in the movie for it to be like disregarded. I think it fits. Honestly, you have a point. Angelina Jolie, Matthew Lillard. I think that's definitely A tier.
Yeah.
Matthew
Oh,
Lillard low key carried the movie.
yeah. He's like, boo, boo. Yeah,
Angelina Jolie was carrying two things.
She carried me. Any movies that this reminds you of?
No, honestly, this was for sure a first for me.
That's why it's an A. It's incomparable. I bought it in 4K.
You got it in 4K?
Like, I literally, like, when we were getting into the review, like, I've seen it so many times. You know what? It deserves a Blu-ray buy. And guess what? The Blu-ray is made from the original scan, so it is in 4K.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That I did not know. Honestly, I will say this. This movie will definitely improve my fashion sense.
Oh my
For
God.
sure.
Like, I might just wear this out regularly.
Do it, dude. Take it to the mics.
Yeah.
Take it to the mics, man.
Oh, yeah.
I take this outfit to the mics.
Yeah.
So.
I can be like, all like fresh with my, like construction orange vest. Actually, I don't think it looks bad.
You could walk on and be like, we're construction. I don't like it though.
I can start a new trend. I'm gonna bring the hackers trend back. You know,
Okay.
like
Roller skates.
Yeah. Show up in roller skates, see if anybody gets it.
That'd be funny.
Awesome, but yeah, tell us what you thought. Hopefully, you love this movie as much as it's definitely worth a watch. Right, and if you haven't seen it, you think it's an old movie, it holds up.
And if anything, it's free on Tubi, so you could watch it. There's no point. There's no excuses that you can't rent the movie.
Free
It's
on Tubi.
So honestly, let us know how you feel about the movie, how you feel about our review. If you've seen it, leave a comment below. Let us know if we've missed anything, if we missed some viewpoints. Definitely give us a like and subscribe. Do you have any last words about hackers?
Hack the planet, baby.
Hack the planet!
Hack the planet. They're trashing our rights.
Hack the planet. Fuck yeah. Get your VPNs, bro. Nowadays. But yeah, like I said, if you've enjoyed this episode, feel free to give us a like, comment, share. Definitely let us know what movies you've seen, what movies you haven't seen down below. My name is Alex. This is my boy Art. We are the Cine Boys. Have a good one.
Cine Boys. Bye.
Peace. Hack the planet.
Hack it.
Hack the planet.